Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday afternoon edition of the Around the Ropes radio show. Now, guys, our guest we have on has a little bit of ties to the show because he was actually our very first guest we had on almost 3 years ago. Going on 4 years, actually. Sorry, 4 years. But you hear him every morning, 6 a.m. to 11 on 94.3 The Shark, friend of the show, the one, the only Orlando Returns. Orlando, how you been, brother?
John, I'm impressed with that graphic that you made. You made me look 10 times better than I ever could on my own. But the most impressive thing is how somehow that glass of tequila manages to get into every single shot that I'm in. And there's the logo, and I'm like, oh, wow, what a good. Oh, wait, there's the glass of tequila. So, thank you for keeping my image strong.
Absolutely. But how you been? I know it's been a while since we've had you on.
Bro, it's been good. It's been a crazy week for Gen X and millennials with the passings of Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, and Malcolm Jamal Warner all within 6 days. I feel like we lost three brothers, in the pop culture family of America. So, there's a bit of heaviness in the air with that, but at the same time, there's a lot of excitement with the book coming out, with the summer concert series, with so much stuff happening. I feel like, we all gotta work our way to get each other's back and balance the good, the bad, and the ugly.
No, I totally agree. Now, obviously, you brought up Ozzy. I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Mount Rushmore of Ozzy songs.
Secret Loser off of Ultimate Sin. Crazy Train, because it's probably the best guitar solo of all time. Sin off of No More Tears, and my all-time favorite Ozzy song, Goodbye to Romance.
It's weird because you always talk about the Mount Rushmore list, and it's always a tough one because there's so many possibilities that you can put in there. But
you gotta feature. A fifth, if I made my own construction on that thing, would be Fire in the Sky off of No Rest for the Wicked, because you want to try to include every single guitar player that he's had, the major ones, because every single era of Ozzy has some of the best shredding of that decade.
And the funny thing is, Ozzy does have a little bit of ties to the world of pro wrestling as well.
WrestleMania 2.
And also, he's responsible for the theme song for Survivor Series when they do War Games.
What was it, War Pigs?
And then I think it was in 21 or 22, he actually appeared on screen performing the song. In the video package.
Wasn't he like sitting in his living room, like kind of like lip syncing? So I kind of remember that. I do remember him accompanying. It was the British Bulldogs, right, at WrestleMania 2?
Yep, them and Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, that I remember vividly. The older I get, the longer ago I remember. I don't remember what I had for lunch an hour ago, and the remains are sitting on my table. But the older I get, the more like old school wrestling like that. Now I'm starting to remember every detail.
But Orlando, I want to get now to the book. Obviously, the book's coming out August 6th. You have the event happening right over here at the Village Idiot. Talk to us. What was the process like writing the book, putting the book together? And did you ever think you would actually add author to your list of stuff that you've done?
No, not at all. Just a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have expected to be talking about tarot cards or psychic abilities or anything like that at all. I was a non-believer for most of my life. I just turned 47. Until I turned 41, I had zero interest in this stuff whatsoever, let alone the idea that I would ever write a book about it.
Now, was it your idea to write the book, or did somebody come up to you and approach you the idea of writing the book?
It was my idea to write the book. Growing up in the wacky world of radio, and even with all of the connections that radio brought me to wrestling throughout the years, there's been suggestions to write a book in the past. But 2 years ago, I started teaching a tarot card class where I encourage my students to use their own music selections and their experiences surrounding those selections to understand and interpret each tarot card. There's 78 cards in a tarot deck. Each card represents some sort of human emotion or experience that we've all been through. And the whole point of the book is to show that no matter how unique you think your life is, the experiences that shape that life are not. We're all connected. We all know what pain is. We all know what love is. We all know what triumph is, right? So I teach that class by challenging you to pick your own songs to relate to whatever cards that I'm bringing up that day. And the book is basically just a reflection of that class. It asks you what your favorite songs are, what your experiences are with those songs, and if the card like the Magician, which is a card that it basically tells you you no longer need to look for answers. You have all the materials, you have all the knowledge, you have everything at your disposal. You're not looking at it from a productive standpoint. Stop looking for more. Stop gathering material. Take what you have and figure it out. Well, in music, you have Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix is still one of the greatest, most revered guitar players of all time. But when he started as a lefty, he couldn't afford a left-handed guitar. So he had all the talent, and he had a right-handed guitar. What was a poor kid from Seattle supposed to do? He took all the strings off, and he restrung it, and he played the guitar upside down. And that is a classic image of Jimi Hendrix. He had everything he needed. He just had to figure out a way to do it. So the Magician in Tarot, to me, always reminds me of Jimi Hendrix. And it's that kind of thing that I teach in the book. You know, you don't have to know tarot. If you have a little bit of belief and intuition, you could use the music that you love to read a deck of cards, or even just read the way you and I are talking right now. Just use your intuition. If a song pops in your head, like if I'm talking to you and a certain song pops in your head that reminds me, like, you know, you just mentioned War Pigs. So if you and I haven't met and War Pigs comes up, I'm thinking, why? Is he an Ozzy fan? Like, what's going on? Why is this song so prominent in my head? Then maybe I envision a microphone and, you know, you start putting two and two together. Oh, wait, he's a big wrestling fan. He's a big rock fan.
No, I get what you're saying. And, you know, I've never actually experienced a tarot reading, and I want to try at some point just to get that
August
experience.
6th. August 6th, come on down, brother. We have a book launch at the Village Idiot Pub in Lake Grove, and my students are going to be reading.
I will definitely. That's one of my big things I'm looking forward to is being down there. Just, you know, I've always said this. There are certain people I would always support. You're one of them because you've always been supportive of me with this show. So it's the best I can do is kind of give the support right back to you.
Brother, it's much appreciated. I'm looking forward to having you. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a live events. Alt X is this really solid, fun 90s alternative cover band. Like everything that you want to hear, from like Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus to, you know, the obvious Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and then some weird stuff like the band Hum. They do this great version of Stars. They do Got You Where I Want You by The Flies, like stuff like that. There'll be music all night. There'll be tarot card readings in the back. One of my special students is going to do a 30-minute psychic medium gallery at around 9:30 that night. And we've got, you know, we'll tie it back into wrestling. Before the TNA show at the UBS Arena, a bunch of those guys came up to the studio to do some press. The Hardy Brothers signed a drum skin, and so did Casey Navarro, so they're going to be up for auction.
Wow, that's okay. You bring that up. What was it like, especially, you know, you being the old school mind when it comes to wrestling? What was it like, you know, having the Hardy Boys walk in and, you know, you're sitting down with them having a conversation?
The interviews on my SoundCloud, it was about 30 minutes long, and at the end you could hear me get choked up, and I didn't even expect to do it. Like, it wasn't like the Ultimate Warrior or Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I was still in my late teens when the Hardys, you know, rose to prominence in my life of wrestling, but there was just something once they were there and I'm doing my thing and they're doing their thing and our worlds connected like that. that just got me really emotional. It was wild to see. Jeff and I are the same age.
And I've heard Jeff, I know, also does some guitar playing stuff. He has his own. I think this weekend he's doing a acoustic set in Jersey ahead of SummerSlam.
Jeff Hardy's going to be in Jersey?
Yeah.
Man, maybe we should check that out. I'd love to give him a copy of the book.
Yeah, I think they are. But so you had Casey Navarro, and obviously Casey is somebody who's sort of like the future of this industry. You know, what was it like talking to him? Obviously, he's somebody who's first getting his foot in now.
He said something that really struck me. He said that growing up, he had no friends. He was the kid in high school wearing the John Cena t-shirt that everybody made fun of because he was a nerd. And even with wrestling surging in popularity now, it's still sort of this fringe passion. Even when it's in the mainstream, it's considered fringe. And because it's scripted and all that other stuff, people find a way to make fun of it with ease. And that struck me because growing up, being this chubby, awkward kid whose only joy in life was the Von Erichs, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Rowdy Piper, and the Ultimate Warrior, I related to everything that he said about that. Now here he is at just, I think, 25. He's young. Yeah. In better shape than probably anybody who ever made fun of him could be.
But he is one guy I know who paid his dues, though, when it came to, you know, working the independent scene. And I give him a lot of credit for what he did. But obviously, you were at the TNA show. Obviously, it was their first show at UBS Arena. What did you think of the show, from your opinion?
Well, I thought it was great. Beginning to end, it was great. That stuff with Hometown Man was hysterical. You know, the tone was set with that first match. And John, I got to apologize. I've been up since 2:30 this morning, so my brain's not firing on all cylinders. What was that first match after Hometown Man?
It was Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander.
Mustafa and Cedric, right? Yeah, all right. See, that match set the tone. That reminded me of the Rockers and the Rougeau brothers, like when Bret Hart and the Brainbusters used to open up a match. I mean, that was a solid opener. I'm mixing up Mustafa and Cedric with Moose and what's his name?
Oh, Leon Slater.
Leon Slater, which was, I think, one of the best matches I've ever seen live.
And where I was sitting, I know the biggest part I popped for was when Bully Ray showed up.
Yeah, right after the Hardys won the titles in a ladder match. And here I am at 47 years old watching the Hardys in a ladder match. It was surreal. Look, everything about that show was great, beginning to end. I know it didn't go the way people wanted, and I know the look of the TNA guys not winning the belts. I get all that. But wrestling fans always strike me funny. It's like on one hand, they get mad when you call it scripted. On the other hand, they get mad when you understand why things are done a certain way.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the same with music, though. Is fans, like, especially like rock fans, are kind of like in the same boat, I feel like.
You ever go on blabbermouth.net and read the comments? It is full of the same type of crap Casey Navarro and I were talking about with him getting bullied. It's like vitriol for the sake of it. It doesn't matter who you are. Like if it's a hot female, she's ugly. If it's the greatest vocal performance of all time, he was off key. It's like people can't help themselves but sit at that computer and throw shade. It's just the age of the internet. And wrestling is in this catch-22 because no business, no art form has benefited more from the internet besides porn than wrestling. You had more access to wrestling than you ever. Us nerdy wrestling fans would go down to the local video store and rent all of those old Starcades, all of those old compilations, the PWI Bill Apter video, where you finally got footage of Kerry Von Erich versus Ric Flair from Texas Stadium. Like, we had to bother our parents to drive us down, and then killed him in late fees because we didn't want to let the tape go. The internet shows up. We have people to talk to. We have places to watch it. All of a sudden, we're connected.
All right. Believe me, I get it wholeheartedly. But
the floodgates open, that's all.
I won't give you that much longer because obviously, like you said before, you've been up since 2:30 this morning. So I appreciate you coming on today. I really do. It means a lot. One more time, plug the book, what the party, and all that stuff. The floor is yours.
Nah, brother, look, I appreciate the time. In this book, there's a couple of stories about wrestling and my grandmother. My grandmother passed away 6 years ago, but there are certain songs that I hear. There are certain wrestling matches. Like right now, she's giving Hulk Hogan an earful. Her and the Ultimate Warrior were probably waiting, saying, "Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh, I've been waiting for you." But the book is about connection. The book is about maybe checking out something that you normally wouldn't think you have any interest in or a common bond with in tarot, and realize that you do. It's just another way to communicate with our brothers and sisters. In this book, I use stories from my career, 20 years in radio, stories from my unconventional life. So there's some wrestling stories in there. And I just want to show that with each card that represents an emotion in their experience, there is an experience that you have that you can use to explain it to someone else. If you go to Amazon.com right now, you can order the book, Rock N, letter N, Soul Tarot. Brian Orlando is the author's name. And I think you can also get it at BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay. Definitely, guys, definitely go check it out. And then you have the launch party is August 6th right over here at the Village Idiot.
Yeah, so for the locals, the Village Idiot Pub is closed down. It's being renovated. It's going to be rechristened as Rockefellers at the end of the summer. But John Sarno, who's an awesome dude, and John and I go way back. He goes way back with Nicole as well. Nicole used to work at the gym John worked at. I mean, just old school neighborhood guy who's never said no to anything involving charity, is opening the bar for the night. So the old Village Idiot in Lake Grove, which was Big Barry's back in the day. Oh man, would I kill for some Big Barry's wings, those 10-cent wings? But anyway, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wednesday, August 6th. We've got live music from Alt X. I've got a very special appearance from John Hampson of 9 Days, who's going to come up and do a couple of songs. I mean, you're talking like real songs, solid hits from the radio, done in that little bar that night. I've got about a dozen tarot card readers, all my students and friends of mine from Rock and Soul Tarot. There's a private room in the back. So there'll be tarot card readings available, quick ones, 10-minute tarot card readings. But all the money's going to charity, all to Angela's house, which I'll get into in a sec. And there's copies of the book for sale as well. There's a raffle table. We have about 50 prizes and a grand prize, which is a espresso machine. When I saw the price tag on this thing of what was donated, I almost had a heart attack because I thought I was giving up a kidney for it. But they were awesome as well. So real quick, John, if you don't mind, I just want to talk about Angela's house.
Go right ahead. Of course.
So the cause that we're raising money for is a local Long Island foundation that helps medically fragile children. The kids that go through the Angela's House program have not just severe illnesses, but rare illnesses. And normally these kids would have to get treated outside of New York State. They need special doctors. They need special equipment, right? So Angela's House brings everything to the families so the families can stay close to their kids, keep families together, keep households together while they're getting treated. There's 3 medical facilities on the island: Stony Brook, Hauppauge, and Santa Mauritius, I believe.
Okay.
And then they'll go into your homes and they'll bring the equipment as well. They are some of the most genuine people. They care about these kids. They care about these families. And all of the money raised on August 6th, all the books that you buy that night at the Village Idiot. All the money raised from the tarot card readings and the raffle tickets, it's all going to Angela's house. I haven't decided whether we're going to do a 50-50, because the one thing I can't stand is when somebody wins the 50-50 and then the audience yells at them to give the money back. Like, to me, that's just added peer pressure, and it's wrong. Well, the 50-50 for a reason.
No, I totally get that. One last thing I do want to make a quick mention here before we sign off. There was one thing I've been meaning to thank you on for the longest time, and I haven't actually had a chance. A couple of years ago, you let me come to this. You let me come to the studio when you were still doing the Sunday. You were doing the Sunday night show.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah. And it was wrestling themed. And I loved the experience. I know I had a little bit of an issue in the beginning, but it was an amazing experience, and I want to thank you for that.
What was the issue in the beginning? I don't remember.
I got lost and showed up a few minutes late.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Time is something I'm a stickler on. Well, hey, this is a wrestling podcast. How many of those wrestling trainers punish their guys when they're late?
Everyone.
That's a story in every book, right?
Mm-hmm. Everyone. But I wanted to thank you, though, for that.
John, you're always welcome. You guys do a great job. Around the Ropes is a great show. If I can help in any way, anytime I could be a part of it, I would love to. I mean, listen, you're giving me the opportunity, so I'm the one who needs to be thanking you right now, not the other way around, but thank you.
I appreciate it. And like I said, you were our first guest 4 years ago. And I mean, I'll tell you offline about the stuff we have coming up, but it's insane what these last 4 years have been. But again, Orlando, I want to thank you. And I do get a chance to listen to The Shark on my way to work. So I do get a chance to listen in the morning. So you do a great job in there as well. And again, Orlando, thank you so much. Guys, definitely go check out the book. If you're in the area, come on by Lake Grove, Village Idiot. You cannot miss it. It's probably one of the biggest signs and the most recognizable building on Middle Country Road. If you know, you know.
Absolutely. John, am I staying on, or are you going to call me afterwards?
I can call you after.
Give me a call. Brother, it was good seeing you.
All right, good seeing you. Guys, for Orlando, I'm John. This has been the Round the Ropes Radio Show. We'll catch you guys next time.